Awful lies, some weird muffin anecdote, infamous Milani palette, and hours of testimonies later, the Amber Heard versus Johnny Depp is finally over. Depp's legal team successfully wiped the floor with Amber Heard, who barely scratched the surface of the defamation trial. Now, after getting dragged inside and outside the courthouse, losing the trial might mean bankruptcy for Amber Heard. She might have treated her trial like a cheap acting gig, but unfortunately, overacting in your trial wasn't on her payroll. If anything, Amber Heard could write a memo on how to become eternally unemployable in 6 seconds. On the other hand, Johnny Depp seems to be unbothered. In fact, he didn't even appear in court for the verdict. Guess if he had to choose between playing some tunes in England and sitting in the same room as Amber Heard, he'd choose the former. And who could blame him? Sit tight as we give you a jam-packed roundup of the trial's verdict, who is losing how much money, and who is on the verge of declaring bankruptcy. What's the verdict? The clear victor of the defamation lawsuit is Johnny Depp. No questions asked there, but the verdict is a little more complicated than that. You might even say that Amber Heard also got a thin slice of victory while Johnny took the entire pie home. So let's break this down, shall we? Depp sued his ex-wife over an op-ed she wrote for the Washington Post, declaring herself the public figure representing domestic abuse. She explained that when she spoke up against domestic abuse, she had to face the culture's wrath, which is supportive of powerful men. Now, here's the thing. Amber didn't name Johnny or reference her former explosive marriage, but after filing a restraining order against Johnny quite publicly, there was no coming back for Amber. The op-ed successfully got Johnny Depp canceled on the internet. He also lost some very lucrative roles, including his iconic role of Jack Sparrow when Walt Disney decided to back Johnny against a wall. Now, this entire curious case of the 2018 op-ed is everything Johnny needed to prove his innocence. Before that, his legal team had to prove that the op-ed was not only about Johnny, but had also dragged his name via 3 different statements. After Johnny's legal team pulled some mind-boggling receipts, it was fairly obvious that Amber had dug her own grave when she penned that op-ed. The trial became super one-sided because Johnny's lawyers debunked so many lies about Amber Heard. It turns out that Amber had called the police over Johnny for domestic abuse when there was no shred of evidence. There was an instance of Amber getting super cozy with James Franco as a married woman, and to make things worse for herself, she also lied about donating her divorce settlement money to charity. Before you think lying about charity is the worst thing Amber did, there were also instances of her force-feeding Johnny drugs. And clear evidence showed that Amber deliberately pulled Johnny and his kids apart. After a colossal failure of Amber's legal team, which honestly gave us cheated on my LSATs, now we hear vibes. Johnny won the jury on all 3 counts of defamatory statements. Who knew Johnny could play ball and hit one out of the ballpark? The jury's decision was unanimous and came after 3 days of deliberations. In many terms, the verdict screams that Amber Heard defamed Johnny, and eventually it cost him his career and life. If Johnny's team wiped the floor with Amber, why is there an inch of success for her team? Well, the jury assesses the case on 2 different fronts. On the first front, it was Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard, aka the defamation suit that Johnny had filed and won. The second front is Amber's $100 million counter lawsuit against Johnny. You may call Amber Heard versus Johnny Depp, otherwise known as the case that Johnny's legal team shredded into pieces in the court of Virginia. The jury found out that Johnny's lawyer had defamed her when he told the Daily Mail that Amber had involved police in her case, only to set Johnny up. He also called Amber's allegation a hoax. The jury decided to award Amber a marginal victory on that single count of a defamatory statement. On the flip side, Johnny's lawyers dragged Amber through the mud on the issue of the First Amendment. In other words, as per the First Amendment, Amber claims she has the right to freedom of speech, and she can write any op-ed anytime against anyone. The jury truly understood the assignment when they decided, hey, look, you have the right to freedom of speech unless you falsely accuse someone and end their career on a mild day. So, let's put this plain and simple. Not only Amber lied under oath repeatedly, but she also took advantage of her country's laws to lie even more. No wonder Amber Heard is sailing smoothly towards bankruptcy. Yikes. What are the penalties for the ex-couple? The jury has decided that Amber will pay a grand slam of $15 million in compensatory and punitive damages. Now, if you're unfamiliar with whatever punitive damages are, you shouldn't be surprised. In fact, punitive damages aren't as common in the U.S. legal system as you think. You only pay punitive damages when the jury decides that your behavior was super harmful to the other party. Yep, long story short, punitive charges are more of a punishment that you can't get away with. So is Johnny paying any punitive damages to Amber Heard? The clear answer is a no. The jury did not find Johnny's behavior to cause Amber her career, but Johnny is required to pay Amber an amount of $2 million in compensatory charges. And no, that's not out of pity, given Amber's impending poverty crisis. It's because Amber had won on a single count of the counter lawsuit. In front of Amber's penalty of $15 million, Johnny's damage is spare change, not to mention Johnny Depp has that kind of money. It is true that he hasn't bagged a major role in years now, but the Pirates of the Caribbean money isn't long lost. And did we mention Dior never dropped Johnny as their brand ambassador? What are the net worths of Johnny and Amber? According to many sources, Johnny's net worth stands between $150 to $210 million US. In 2016, Forbes reported that Johnny had earned $48 million that year. After all, Johnny's demand to appear in any movie starts from a whopping $20 million fee. We know what you're thinking. Johnny hasn't been in the Hollywood movie A-list benchmark for years now. But hey, he is only supposed to pay $2 million to Amber Heard. For Johnny, it'll be like paying for some utility bill or covering his bill for booze. A $2 million dent in his bank account seems pretty justified, especially when the trial made his image squeaky clean again. Believe it or not, just a few hours after the verdict was announced, bosses at Walt Disney are back on their Pirates of the Caribbean mood board. Not to get your hopes up, but we might be seeing Johnny reprising his role of Captain Jack Sparrow. On the other hand, Amber has become completely unemployable. Her only options are to find some acting role off Craigslist or find acting gigs on Fiverr. Whatever floats her boat, but more importantly, whatever gets her $15 million. As of now, Amber Heard's net worth is around $8 million or less. Like everyone in the courtroom, we have no idea how she chose to spend the whopping divorce settlement money. While she donated some of it, there's no way to figure out where the rest of it went. And by its looks, Amber is not bagging any brand endorsement anytime soon unless a company is on a suicide mission. After employing the Virginia state laws, Amber's penalty is capped at around $10 million and $350,000. Oh, after hiring expensive yet incompetent lawyers, she has to pay some hefty legal dues as well. Whatever the math here is, it is very clear that Amber can't simply pay her dues to Johnny Depp without going bankrupt. So if you're looking for some really lavish property, you might want to wait until Amber lists her house. What happens if Amber doesn't pay her dues? It's no surprise that Amber's lawyers are in the process of filing an appeal of the verdict. After the announcement of the verdict, Amber took on her social media to inform us that the legal proceedings saddened her. She believes that Johnny's team manipulated the jury into overlooking some solid facts that had won her the case in the UK. In a classic case of the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, Amber's lawyers also believe that Johnny's lawyers steered the jury into deceiving some quality facts. We have no idea what those facts are, but it's clear that Amber's lawyers aren't backing down. Her legal team also announced that Amber has absolutely no financial means to pay her penalties to Johnny Depp. Here's the catch. Even if Amber appeals the judgment, she is still liable to pay a bond of $10.35 million. So, moving forward, Amber has very few options. If she can't pay the $10.35 million bond, she can file for bankruptcy in court. That trick might not work in Amber's favor because the evidence officially proved her intent to defame Johnny Depp in court. Johnny might take note of her financial distress, but it is not easy to discharge $10.35 million through insolvency only. Another option for Amber Heard is to offer her wages. Again, that option only works if Johnny Depp chooses to accept it. Amber will be required to garnish her future and current wages to the court through this legal trajectory. In other words, whatever she earns goes directly to the court and then to Johnny's bank account. Not sure what Amber's earning methods would look like, considering a humiliating defeat in court. She isn't landing major roles like Aquaman anytime soon. And oh, she also must pay for child support since she's a mom of a 2-year-old girl. If Johnny demands wage garnishment, he could also ask Amber to sell her assets like property and jewelry to pay her dues. Basically, everything valuable that Amber owns could be put for sale, anything but her retirement fund. It would take hundreds of yard and garage sales to collect $10.35 million, and we can say that things are extremely bad for the actress, or should we call her a former actress? What is Amber's last resort? At this point, Amber's fate lies in the hands of Johnny Depp. She can ask Johnny to drop the monetary judgment out of compassion, or maybe Johnny would offer that himself. Both of their legal teams can privately come up with a settlement that would look like this. Johnny would drop all the monetary penalties on Amber, and in turn, Johnny's legal team will ask her to drop the appeal on the verdict. Potentially, Johnny could drop the monetary charges and have another go with his legal team on the appeal, but that seems highly unlikely. In his post-verdict statement, Johnny emphasized his quest to reveal the truth to the people. He quoted the Roman philosopher Seneca to remind us that the truth never perishes. So maybe, like Amber, Johnny is also willing to move on. The 6-week trial was horrifying for both of them, and going back to the courtroom doesn't seem feasible. Many legal experts cite that Johnny is most likely to drop the monetary judgment in exchange for Amber holding back her appeal. No matter what happens, Amber Heard will always remember the trial as the day she almost caught Captain Jack Sparrow. And that's a wrap for this video. If you liked it, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and we'll see you in the next one.